Welcome back to Viewpoint. I'm James Zogby. My next guest is Ahmed Maher, a civil engineer in New Cairo, who was one of the founders of Egypt's April 6th youth movement, was an active participant in the anti-Mubarak demonstrations which helped give rise to the Arab Spring movement. He's with us today, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
You were at Occupy DC yesterday. You were in the park. Having a chat with some of the folks there. You've been online with communicating with the Occupy Wall Street people. Have they been asking for advice?
Before or now?
Before.
Before, from I think 4 months, we met with many groups, American groups, calling for taxes, calling for reduced taxes and get health insurance and more benefits to American. And they try to ask about our organization and about our structure inside April 6. And now we are met with Occupy DC, and they calling for what our opinion. And I said to them, the goal of April 6 is not a goal of Occupy DC or Occupy the Street, and our mission is not your mission, and our behavior is not your behavior. So you must to think about your strategy and your behavior and how to improve your tactics.
Tell me about the April 6th movement itself. You know, it's been called the Facebook revolution or the Twitter revolution. How significant was the role of social media in this revolt? Was it essential? Was it important? How important was it?
Social media playing very important role to organize people, to organize groups, to spreading our ideas. But I am against the expression Facebook revolution or Twitter revolution, because Facebook or Twitter is just tools. Before 2008, we using maybe Yahoo groups, forums, blogs to spreading our ideas, to cover our events. But we start to use to try Facebook in 2008 to calling for our first general strike, and it was very successful. And after that, we used Twitter and many things to spreading our idea, to organize. We used secret Facebook groups to have our secret groups in the government and in universities. So it helps. But without Facebook, maybe the revolution will be delayed 1, 2, 3 years, and maybe we found other tools. So any revolution have reasons, and Facebook and social media is just tools to make the communication is very easy.
What is the role of social media now in the post Tahrir Square period? What are you? How much do you rely on it? Is it a helpful tool? When you were coming to Washington, we were getting Twitters, don't do this, don't do this. Has it become a burden, or is it still a helpful tool?
It's still helpful to get more communications and to spreading our idea, to talk to the people. But now there is all the people, and the people also from NDP party, and many people using Facebook and Twitter now, and there is every day you find a war between people on Twitter and Facebook. I think to reach more people in the street, because the power in the street, not in Facebook. So we must find the new ways to reach people in the street.
I was just actually doing a survey for a project that I'm working on Facebook. And in the period right before the vote on the referendum on the Constitution, one day there were 31,000 posts on Facebook opposed to the reform. There were about 11 or 1,200 for the reform, but the reform won 70% to 25%. So there's no direct parallel, right, between you can win the Facebook war, but you don't win the election.
Yes, yeah. True. On Facebook and Twitter, you find all the activists or the political activists or the opposition parties, and you will find you will winning. But in the street, it's nothing else. In the street, the people is searching for who can help them in good salaries, to decrease food prices. So it's a difference.
So tell me now, April 6th movement, what happens? Does it become a political party? Are you organizing for the election? Are you mobilizing youth and the revolutionaries to win in the parliament, or to write the constitution, or what is the structure of April 6th?
It's all of them.
Yeah. Are you running?
No.
Okay.
Our point of view that we didn't finish our revolution, and we must continue pressure to complete our mission to have a democratic country, have a freedom of speech, equality, social justice. So we must to complete our mission. It's very important if we have youth political parties or youth candidates or youth parliament members. It's very important, and we support that. But it's not our mission. Our mission to be supervising for the situation, to push for any law, to support any candidates, to stand against any candidates. So we will watching and we will supervising to be a lobbying group against or support anything with our goals. So we are now against make a campaign against the NDP guys from the Mubarak regime to try to ban them from the winning for the parliament elections, and try to talk about the criteria of good guys in the parliament. I think maybe we transform to a political party after several years, not now.
Okay. The president left, but the regime stayed.
Yes.
And the question is, will they give space for democracy, for a real democracy? It looks increasingly like the space will be limited. What can be done? How worried are you? You say the revolution has not been completed. How worried are you about that, and what can be done as you move forward?
I know there is many obstacles and many troubles will facing us many times, but I'm optimistic. If we study the symbols of change in Eastern Europe, they take 4, 5, 6 years after the revolution to build a new regime and a new country. In Egypt, it's more difficult because we have the SCAF control everything and try to keep the old regime. But I'm optimistic because what happened? Even what happened, the next president, he can't do the same thing like Mubarak. The next government, the next parliament, they can't do the same thing like Mubarak period. So I'm optimistic because the people now in the street now, we make a change in the mentality, and they will push for democracy, and they will protect the revolution.
Let me take a call. We have a call holding from Egypt. The number's on the screen. You can give us a call from overseas. Well, the numbers will be there. Let me take the call from Egypt. Caller, your question.
Okay, hi.
Yes.
Mr. Ahmed, do you think because of no leader of the revolution that make an complete revolution?
Yes, I think that is the main reason, because there is no coalition or no leaders for that revolution, because our revolution is unique, because we aren't a hierarchical structure. The SCAF hijacking to our revolution, and now
the SCAF meaning the Supreme Council.
Supreme Council. They control everything now. That increase every day because there is no leaders, not council leading the revolution.
How worried were you? How troubled were you by the recent killings of a couple dozen Coptic Christians and that clash? What was intriguing to me was the story came out, and then there was a counter story a couple of days later. How did that play out in Egypt? From your anecdotal evidence, obviously you don't know, there hasn't been a poll or anything done to show that, but are people believing the military story, or do they believe the story of the Copts? And what can be done about that, the issue of protection of Christians and the equal rights of Christians, not protection, but their equal rights as citizens of the state?
For sure there is two stories, and we was witness at that time, and we was participate in that event, and we saw the tanks and the military, they drove over the people at that demonstration. I think there is many people believe the SCAF because they used they control the national TV and they controlled many newspaper, but also there is many people know the truth. So I think the problem is how to make more freedom to the newspapers and the press and the media. It's very important because Mubarak governing Egypt 30 years by media and how to control media.
And one of the things that Facebook and Twitter does is it breaks the monopoly on information, which is the way we saw, many of us saw the videos,
yes,
was on
was
Facebook.
Uploaded to Facebook, uploaded to YouTube, the real, what happened and how the demonstrator was killed. It was take photos and upload it to YouTube. And
sorry, we're not going to get to a lot of calls, but I do have one from Michigan that I'm going to take right now. We only have about a minute and a half left. Caller, your question.
Hi.
Hello? Yes, your question.
Hello. Yeah, I'm just calling to see learn about their plan, the April 6th. What kind of economic plan that they have for the economic problem in Egypt, and also is the new Egypt going to be more kind of like military regime, militaristic, like Mubarak time, or is it going to be more?
I'm going to stop you there because we only have a minute left for your economic plan and whether or not it's going to be a more militarized or less militarized regime.
Our economic plan that we are, at first we are not specialists in economics, we are youth. Have ideologies, have different kinds of thinking, but we are all agree with more justice, more social justice and more equality, and we will support the equality between national sectors and private sectors, and we will support insurance, health insurance and the main services. We will stand and push for that, and we get support from many specialists and many doctors and many professors. They make a plan, clinical plan to help people and have a better life to the people, and we will support anything with that.
That's all the time we've got. Thank you for joining us, Ahmed. It was an honor to have you on the show. If you want to check out more, you can find us on Twitter, AAIUSA, or log on to the website, aaiusa.org. We'll see you next week on Viewpoint.